just want to welcome everyone and just acknowledge the traditional owners, the Wadawurrung people, the land we are gathering on today. I want to acknowledge our waterways and our land and the people that are here, the people before us, our ancestors, and acknowledge our elders in our communities, and acknowledge any Aboriginal people in our space today. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome, Shu.
Welcome, Shu. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm really good.
Well, I'm nervous.
Dane's been sweating about this.
I have, and I still am, I'm not going to lie. The first one didn't ease anything at all.
Yeah, we just had a nice chat with your mum, Karen.
The boss lady. Yeah,
She
well
said all
done.
good things. It was all good things.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think she freaked out a little bit when she walked in the room and saw we're actually filming, not just doing auto.
Me and
Audio,
your mum were
sorry.
sweating nervous together. Yep.
No, cool. But no, thank you, Shu, for for coming in and having a chat with Dane and I in the podcast, the Bungalow. Something new for us, but something we're very excited to get out to the community and get some strong, important people in our community to come in and have a chat with us and share their wisdom and their story with everyone that's going to hopefully tune in and have a listen to us. So,
I'll tell you a bit about ourselves first. My name's Dane Habe. I'm a proud Gundi Jamara woman. A bit of my background, I've grown up in Ballarat my whole life. I've worked in primary school before this job, which I really loved. Wanted to get a bit more connected with my culture, so I wanted to work with kids as well. So this is perfect. This is like a dream job. Get to do all the fun stuff with the kids and boss them around and have a laugh. I'm good at bossing people around.
Yeah.
I actually really love it.
Yeah. And I'm Aaron Clark. Mum's side, I'm Nookna and Cookatha, which is South Australia, and Dad's side, Bungalow, which is down in Melbourne, and Mati, which is New South Wales, just over the border. So, and I'm the team leader for our children and youth engagement programs here at BADAC. I was born and raised in Mildura. I've been in Ballarat now for 14, 15 years.
Long time,
I think 20 years all up. I did a stint there for a few years prior to coming back not long ago, but Ballarat's home now. Obviously Mildura's always going to be home, but Ballarat's home now to me. But like Dane said, we're pretty lucky to do some of the work that we do. I've done the whole counselling thing and the pro golf stuff, but it wasn't until I got into doing stuff with youth and getting involved with schools and helping schools connect to culture and embedding that. It wasn't until I started doing that where I found my passion to do what we do. And that's a little bit about me, but we're here to talk about you, Shu. It's all about you for a little bit. I know you're a man who loves to talk. You love to have a little bit of fun as well. I'm lucky enough to call you a mate. We've been friends for quite a while, and we're interested to find out a little bit more about you. So, can you tell us, who you are? Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are as a man, an Aboriginal man, and a bit about your mob.
Yeah, cool. Well, first, I guess thanks for the introduction and, getting this established. This is something we spoke about for quite a while, getting a podcast and speaking to some people in the community and hearing about yourselves as well, and, sharing our stories with the young kids in the community and elders and just the broader and wider community here in Ballarat as well. It'd be interesting to see something that we've not had in this community. So, it's a great way to kick it off and see how we go. And you started off with talking to the CEO. That's a good start. Yeah. And obviously just weeding your way down to Dane and I.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's great to see you guys working in this space and with our kids in a community and, hearing that you're so passionate about your job and what you do is great. And it's a credit to both yous and everyone here that works in this particular team. Aaron, geez, we have been friends for a while, and now our kids are the same age and hanging out and doing all the stuff that we used to do. So
I'm sure it's less. I'm sure they're doing less than what you used to.
I hope it stays that way too.
Definitely, yeah. It's lot of things we did as kids. So I hope our kids aren't following our lead. But I do hope they're following our lead in our cultural strength and who we are and positive leaders in this community. Because Aaron and I have grown up in this community and led from our elders and reflect that in the work that we do. And yourself too, Dane, and being in the school and seeing those kids grow up and being in that space as well is fantastic. I do like to talk, and I'm sort of a bit taken back with the lights and cameras in your face.
It's daunting,
like
isn't
you.
it?
It
It's
is
not
a
like
bit daunting.
It's
The couch is comfy. But yeah, my name's Stu Brown. I'm proud Adjumutna man and Pitjantjatjara man. Families from the Flinders Ranges in Western Australia. And yeah, I've been living in Ballarat for a few years now and been a part of this community for a very long time as a young fella as well. Seeing my grandmother be part of this organisation as a founding member, and obviously now Karen, my mother, as the CEO. We've always been a part of this community, whether it's just living in town or being a part of the organisation, and now fully well embedded within the organisation as
Yes.
a chief of culture, public relations and engagement. So being that forefront person in the community and be able to speak on behalf of the organisation and making sure our community partners and people that we work with external to our organisation in this community understand what we do, and obviously working with you guys too to make sure that culture is well embedded within our kids and community as well. It's a really fantastic job, and as we said, growing up and seeing what this community has brought and how we make changes and how we become stronger and bigger in our communities, fantastic. And like I said, it's great to have you guys to lead that forefront with our next generation.
Awesome. Cool. So again, it's like you said, it is great doing what we do. We are pretty lucky, and then having support from from people like you and from Karen. It just makes our jobs that little bit easier.
I think
we've got
too,
support.
we're always moving with the times. We're always trying to keep up with the technology. Well, some of us are, not me. But we move forward. We're not in a standstill as a culture. We're always moving forward and changing with the time and still showing a strong culture while we do that as well. And I think that's, really good because we have good community within our workspace. So, yeah, you have that opportunity.
Been pretty lucky with some of the people that have come before us with the work that they've done.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's great to see how diverse our community is too. Like we've got 3 people in here that are from different parts of the country, and we all bring our own passion and culture and understanding of our own culture. So
Bring our own knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. And be able to share that with everyone is really important to understand for ourselves that we are strong Aboriginal people, but we've got our own culture and knowledge and background to bring to the forefront as well.
Yeah, we have our own identity, and I think that's important. That's what we sort of try and teach our kids and our youth. Your culture is strong, but you still have your own identity. You bring culture as you are, not as somebody else has told you. So that's pretty good too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Next question, Shu. What did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be? During high school, I was really passionate about art and graphic designing. And I think architecture is probably the first real place that I wanted to go. Obviously, you have your dreams as a young person, as a firefighter or a policeman and those sorts of jobs. They're the real cool jobs. But, I really focused on my artwork and not just Aboriginal art, but upskilling yourself in graphic design and those sorts of areas, and architecture was sort of a place where I wanted to go, and that never happened. Still a dream, but it's something I really still enjoy, just doing artwork, painting, graphic design, those sorts of things. But now, I went down that path and became a firefighter for part of my career, and I think that's where I started off. On my journey of my career, I left high school in year 12 when I was 17, completed year 12 and left school and went to work at Melbourne Zoo in catering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was really cool. It was different, and it was a job that was just going at the time. At the time, the Melbourne Zoo were employing large amounts of Aboriginal people in those roles, and it was a really good opportunity just to start work, I guess, and really understand what work is. Obviously, I was the only child with Karen and with mum and dad, so I didn't have to do too much on my own. So, it was about finding your own feet in your journey and what can you do, and moving out of home at 17 and moving in with some friends out in Epping and working at Melbourne Zoo and travelling there every day, in customer service and catering.
Yeah.
It's a job.
It's
a good start. Learn how to pay for bills and look after yourself and wipe your own maul, I guess.
You have to make all the decisions and pay the bills.
Yeah.
You get to really feel what it's like being broke.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't say as an 18-year-old I was probably making the right choices at the time, but I was having fun, that's for sure. And then I moved back to Ballarat into this space, actually into this building. So in 2007, we opened this building up as Kareet Bareet as our art gallery. And we needed someone in here to talk about culture and teach people to understand what Aboriginal culture is and this local identity here in Ballarat with the Wadawurrung people. So we had this gallery set up, which was fantastic, and for me it was a great space to work on those extra customer service skills and talk to people about my culture and my history and my background here. And I guess that's important for me as well, because I've grown up here in Ballarat and Geelong most of my life. I didn't grow up on my country in the Flinders Ranges with my family. So it was really important to be able to share what cultural understanding and knowledge that I had and learnt along my path. And this was a really great environment for that. We brought schools and customers in off the street, and anyone who was going to Sovereign Hill down the road was stopping in to come and have a look and sharing some artwork and culture and talking about life and asking those questions that we didn't get taught in school. So it was really important for us to share with the kids in the community and the people that were walking through the door what Aboriginal culture is. So it was really cool working here back then in 2007, and that I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent just to sort of where I am now, but we got plenty of time, don't we?
Go for it.
And in the city of Ballarat in 2008 had a customer service certificate 3 at the Stockade, actually, Eureka Stockade down the road. So I went there and did some customer service and got a certificate 3 out of that, which is a first sort of formal qualification, studying and working at the time. But your community sort of calls you back when they need to, and I ended up coming back here after a year and a half working up there and sort of somewhat working here in the customer service and managing of this place, which was really cool. At the same time, juggling a small family that was starting to begin. My first young fella in 2007, so it was really cool working here, working in the community, bring up a young fella as well, and then just learning and trying to figure out where my life is going to go from there. Kids bring change, and all your dreams and passions sort of
go on hold.
Yeah, let's go on hold a bit, and you look after the children. And not long after that, a second child came along as well. So it was work and no play, I guess. And then eventually found myself moving up to Halls Gap and working in customer service up there at Brambuck at the Aboriginal Cultural Centre. So really understanding and learning a bit more about my culture and my identity in that place in Garryword was amazing. It's a beautiful landscape. It's a beautiful country. Being at Brambuck and sharing that knowledge in such a large tourist destination was fantastic and a really good opportunity for me to progress in my career. I moved into customer service there at Parks Victoria, and was sharing my knowledge of the place of Garryword and learning with the traditional owners from that space over the time, and telling people where to go to visit the waterfalls, the lakes, the rivers, the rock art sites, and that was amazing. Like I'd move back to Hallscap in a heartbeat. I think it was just an amazing place. And you know, that sort of, I just continued to progress my career in any opportunity that came, that presented itself. So while I was with Parks Victoria, I sort of stepped into, as I was talking before, those sort of dream jobs when you become a firefighter. So forest fire management at the time had roles as part-time firefighters or seasonal firefighters in the Grampians, and I jumped on that opportunity to do that. So it wasn't just talking about these places that you go and visit and send tourists. It became about protecting those places as well, protecting the township, protecting those cultural sites and assets that are in the landscape, and you know, really focus on cultural heritage and what's in the Garraword area. So you know, my career's just sort of slowly changed and progressed into different steps as I went along. And then after a year of doing that, much to Casey, my wife's disgust and not liking what I did, because that first year was Black Saturday fires, which is a pretty hairy experience, and I guess for anyone during that time, let alone a new guy on the back of a fire truck, coming into that season was very hectic and scary, and obviously your wife or your partner's apprehensive about it, which is totally understandable. Yeah. Scary times. I found a full-time job with them, so I sort of went against the grain a bit with her, and did that for another 6 years down in Anglesey in the Otways, which was amazing. And but in that, there's always career progression and opportunities for me. So I guess listening to her and saying, you know, there's other opportunities that I don't have to be out on the fire line all the time, but I can focus on other things. So working in that area of protecting culture heritage, I became one of the culture heritage officers for the Southwest region for DELP, or DECA now. You know, and that was really working with traditional owners and understanding what's important to them, their cultural heritage, the sites, the stories, the culture heritage that's in situ, and what's stories that are protected and, you know, remain in that country, and what's really important to them. So that was a really cool job that I had, working with a lot of TOs across the state and the Southwest. Really enjoyed that, got to know a lot of people within the region, and I guess that's another one of those things, is that you always had some sort of connection with people across the state growing up, whether it was, you know, knowing Aaron as a young fella, or people from Haywood or Warrnambool. You know, the connections that you make as a child were really important, because in our adult careers and life, we all sort of moved in those directions and became really good connections as adults and into those positions as we grew up. You know, understanding that our knowledge and cultural heritage is important to all of us. We all progressed into those sorts of careers and space, and it was easy to walk into an organisation or walk into a co-op or the local mob, and because you grew up with them in the area,
connected.
Yeah, so it made your job really easy. You weren't just a new guy coming in, and
sort of a sense of belonging. You had a place you belong.
Yeah, that's right. And your job and your purpose was right.
Yeah.
Right for country and right for people. So, and that moved on to how do I progress and make those opportunities really stick and meaningful within the organisation. So it looked at developing their reconciliation action plans through DELP and Parks Victoria. So it became, you know, what I've learned and what I've put in place, we're going to put in action and put in on paper in these documents well within these organisations to work with and understand. So my humble beginnings from, you know, starting off in customer service and working and serving people chips and deep fried dim sims in a stinking hot caravan at Melbourne Zoo became, you know, to really working on country and understanding what's important to people was, you know, just a great opportunity for me. Then from there, 2 more kids in between somewhere.
Yep.
So a total of 4. Yep. They're great kids. They live in this community. They come to this youth group and part of this town now. And I moved on to working in the water industry, so with Barwon Water and developing their reconciliation action plan along with the Wadawurrung people as an Aboriginal inclusion coordinator. That was a really good role, and sort of moved from that fire space and culture heritage, but to in the water space was really interesting to understand how important water is to our people and the traditional owners here. Understanding how CMAs and water corps work differently, but can be working closer together, and just making sure that the health of country is right for our people and everyone as a whole, I guess. And everyone gets to understand the story of our waterways and everything. And we have a good connection with our water corporations and traditional owners and local communities as well. And then I guess, look, everything just comes back to community and place, and you're sort of called back to this space. And it wasn't the first time I've been called back to the co-op or this organisation. It was a really good opportunity for us to work in this space, particularly in the cultural therapeutic space, which is a great opportunity. I think everything that I've learned over time, and I guess that's why I tell that story, is because every part of that learning and development led me to this point. Yeah. It's understanding, having the confidence to be able to speak is a really important thing, I think, especially in these roles, and being able to articulate what you need and what's right for the community, for those who can't speak or won't speak. Being that person in the forefront and in the organisation to speak on behalf of our community is an amazing honour for me to be able to do that. It's something that I'm really proud of, and I'm glad I get to be able to share these stories and talk on behalf of our people here in Ballarat. Our community's grown since we were young. Our community's grown in a year. Our organisation's grown to 200 and something staff now, which is amazing. And to think when we first started in 1979, it's 6 or 7 staff at the time.
I was on the board in 2016, 17. There was only 75, 80 staff, and we're well over 200 now. Yeah, it's 6 years later. So it's nuts.
And all the buildings we have, the childcare centres, like everything, it's so important for our community, and it's just an honour to be working back here again. Community calls, and I think Karen, Mum, wrote my wife in first to get her in here to start the childcare
Get the wife
centres.
started.
Yeah. I think it was a trap. It was a trap, definitely a trap.
Wife's on board, husband has to follow.
Yeah.
It was a good trap.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well played. We were living at Bannockburn at the time, and made the choice to move back here to Ballarat. Obviously, you want to make a life for your children and get them set up for school and make friends in the community, and we did that. And now, this is home. Yeah. Ballarat's home now. I think I'm locked in till I die, I guess. Is that the way it goes?
Yeah. Locked in to the end.
Same for me, I think.
So it's a lot about me, I guess, and a little short snap of my career progression as to where I got to. But it's important, and especially in this space, in the cultural therapeutic space, my journey was about me understanding who I was, where I was, my connection to country, what's important to me, what's important to other people in Victoria, Aboriginal people in Victoria, the cultural heritage, the health of country, how the health of country is important to Aboriginal people. So, this environment here where we work, it's a native garden out there. It's we've got a smoking bowl out the back there. We've got elders and yourselves here to speak about health and well-being and children's safety in this community. How important that is to have a space away from our general services as our
away from business, I suppose, in a sense,
a real place for community to come here and talk about their problems, because not everyone wants to speak about their problems in a white walled building with a doctor.
It's a good healing. It's a good healing place.
Yeah, that's right. They want to speak to. They want to speak to you. They want to speak to Darren. They want to speak to me or Uncle Paul, and just sit out in the garden and have a yarn. I think it's important for us to have that space and to be able to have our children in this space as well. Get them to understand and know that this is a safe place for them to come and have a yarn if they want to. But for any community member to come in and be comfortable and safe in this space, it's so important for what we need. And it's a credit to you guys and everyone that works here to make that space for our kids and community.
Building a connection, building a place of belonging.
That's right. I think we had that as youth, as kids, and then somewhere across the line it sort of petered off and
got lost a little bit
and got lost a bit. So we're coming back and connecting to that again is really important for ourselves, and I think COVID had a lot to do with it as well. Everyone sort of got lost, and we needed to bring them back into this sort of safe space, and that's what we're here to do, and that's what we love, and that's what we're passionate about.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly right.
Can talk.
Very, we knew that coming in, but
you
no,
just
it's
really answered so many.
It's an unbelievable journey, I guess, Shu, that you've been through. Like you're going from, your job at the zoo, doing customer service.
I'm just stuck on the zoo.
I'll tell you what, that was like that was the best job interview I've ever had.
I'm picturing a young you at the zoo.
Yeah, no beard, no beard. Very clean shaven young man. That was amazing. Like I was sitting there at the cafe, and the old mate goes, "Oh, would you like a coffee?" I said, "I'll have a hot chocolate." And as he was going to get the hot chocolate, the keepers came and brought 2 elephants just walking through the zoo. It was 8:30 in the morning. There was no one in the zoo, and these 2 giant elephants just wanted to
walk by us.
Why would I not want to walk?
Why would you not? Yeah,
would be a pretty cool place to work, I think.
I think that beats Wendy's. I worked at Wendy's.
Well, they sold me with an elephant, not an ice cream. So.
Yeah. Well, they sold me with food.
Yeah, I think my first job was Pizza Hut.
Yeah, food.
Got to start somewhere.
I'm up for the food.
Yeah. I was a favourite among the school, though. You've got to bring all the leftover pizzas for lunch the next day.
Actually, when I was in high school, I worked at NQR, the supermarket with Joe, my sister. Me and Joe have worked a lot together.
Right.
She's my best friend in everything, and now she does all the hard work. Yeah. But Wendy's was my favourite. Yeah. Food. Yeah. I was pregnant. The food was great. Yep.
No, cool. But like we were saying, like it's been an interesting journey, Shu, like we're saying, from you working at the zoo to what you're doing now. With public relations and communications with BADAC, and being that spokesperson for our community and for BADAC. It's been an interesting journey. It's nice to sort of listen to you speak about it, and how much you've learnt, about yourself and about your identity as an Aboriginal man. We're lucky enough now to see that in the 2 kids that you've got that come along to our youth group. Your daughter and my daughter have created a pretty strong friendship.
Keep us on our toes.
Yes, they do keep us on our toes.
Actually, they keep me up to date with things.
Some of the gossip we hear, it's interesting, but yeah, we're pretty lucky. And then we've got your little fella as well. He's a little bit more quiet than the rest, but when he steps up out of his shoes, he's a very, very funny little man.
Unique character, isn't he?
He is. But yeah, we're pretty lucky to have that. But I guess thinking about all that stuff that you've done with your career, can you tell us a little bit about, I guess, the important people that have had, the important people in your life, and how they've influenced you both personally and professionally?
Yeah, I guess mum's always been a big influence in my life. Whether it was school, in primary school, she was a career educator, so she was at our primary school every week, so you couldn't get away from couldn't get away from school. So she'd come in and be there, and there was an influence there, and that was important because I guess at the time we didn't have anyone in the schools like you were. She came in every now and then to speak on behalf of the community and share Aboriginal culture. So to have her in my life and at school and teaching about that sort of stuff was really important. Seeing how hard she's worked all her life and dedicated her life to community and culture is, that's why wouldn't she be a massive influence in my life? And without knowing it, I guess you follow in those footsteps and lead you back to the community and organisation that we work for, and that she's worked so hard for 20 years now, more. So
20 years this year, I think she was saying before.
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah, it's a good effort. So unknowingly, whatever my journey and my path was going to be, it's just come back to this space and community, unknowingly, unwillingly. It's just happened.
Yeah.
And sharing my journey and where I've come from, sort of, it was bound to happen by the sounds of it.
And probably to get to work beside your mum in a sense is probably a bit of a proud moment too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Family,
And I think that's what our organisation's about. It's family, community and culture. So it's really nice to be at the same sort of level working with her in the executive team. And, I still learn from her and sort of have to bring her up to date with what's going on in the 2023 and 2024 now. The future's a little bit different, and how we run the organisation, what we do, needs to change a little bit. But it's good to have those upfront and honest conversations with her and the team. It was when I first started working here, it was a hard question about, are you prepared to do this? Are you prepared to have those conversations with me about it? And I said, look, we've always been upfront and honest with each other. There's no difference in the way that we act personally and the way that we act professionally. We can be upfront and honest and talk to each other about the hard issues that we have in the community. And that's really important because, you have to be professional in what you do. Yeah.
And that shows growth though as well, to be able to continue to have those hard topics, conversations, and then moving forward with the times. It's good to have that as a team.
Yeah, that's right. I think if I walk into her office and have something to say, it's warranted or heard, but there's no gripe. It's not a personal thing. This is a business conversation. This is what's good for our community and people. This is not between you and I as people. Like I'm not angry with you or anything. To have those conversations, to be able to say that and walk out the door and still, she's your mum at the end of the day.
She still loves you at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Give you a dirty look.
Scolding you.
That's right. She's still in the driveway. That's work time. As soon as you're out, doesn't matter. So, can still smile and laugh at the dinner table and be a family. I think it's really important that we don't let that come between us. Not that it has, but, the opportunity there is, and we're upfront and honest with each other. That's just stuff that I've learnt from her over the years. Also, her father, my grandfather, he's an amazing person in himself. His knowledge, he's just like a human encyclopedia. Like he's just knows everything about everything. I don't know if Mum said, he was a lighthouse keeper.
She told us
in the middle of nowhere. Moving away from Shepparton to be out there in the middle of nowhere and grow a family out there and come back to Australia, and it's an amazing. If you Google where the Chatham Islands is, it's out in the middle of southwest, southeast.
It's pretty cool, a lighthouse.
But he's lived out in Clunes for 30 plus years now, and that place has always been our home, and it's somewhere to go to and speak to him if you're ever feeling sad or down. That's your home. That's that place out there, the farm, and go and have a yarn to him. He knows all about boxing. He knows all about farming. He knows all about. He was a potter for years. That's his trade. And then
we've actually got his pottery wheel at the back, I think.
We do. We have his pottery wheel here.
We'll have to get him in and show us
we have how
to actually use it, because none of us don't know what we're doing.
That's true. That is very true.
I tried to move and I'm like, nope, they're heavy. I don't think they've been moved for a very long time.
Yeah, so he's been, a really important influence in my life, and another person I can just go to and have a yarn if I'm not feeling great, and need a bit of a pick-me-up, he's always there. But it just, one of those blokes who he could reel off what he did, 52 years ago. And
right.
he could be lying, but, you take
He's good at making it up if he is.
Yeah, well, maybe he really is. But, he can recall everything, and he's got a good brain and a good heart. And, he's just one of those really respected people in my life. Another one, I guess, was another fella called Alan Browning back in the day. Sort of grew up in Geelong together, and me and his children were all friends, and we were part of a dance group, and he, the Jebby Wing dance group in Geelong, and he sort of taught me how to dance as a young fella, and that was really important for me as well, I guess, as I said before, growing up off country and living here in Ballarat and Geelong most of my life, any sort of connection to country was really important for me. So to learn and understand what dance is and how to do it, and your body paint, what that meant, and the markings that you had on you were yours, like given to you for those things, and having a real understanding of what it was. And I think later on in life it became really important to me because I wasn't always a good speaker. I'm not saying I'm perfect now, but I can talk confidently in front of people. But it was one day I was talking in front of a group, and I got a bit nervous. And I remember back then when you were dancing in front of people, and, you're standing there in a lap and Kate, and you talk to people openly and comfortably, and you're like, hang on, if I can do that, stand half naked in front of people, and here I am talking in front of 40 people getting nervous. Like, I take myself back to moments like that. I'm like, I can. I was wearing nothing, like, basically. You've got this. This is easy. This is nothing. So, and you're the knowledge holder, and you're the person they're listening to. So, it was an interesting time where I thought back to that moment, and having him there, standing next to me, pushing me to go and talk in front of people. No, it's your time, it's your opportunity. Go and do that. So to have someone like that in your life as a young person, he's passed away now, but have someone like that in your life was really important, and you can take moments of your life and think about him and think about the times that he pushed you and challenged you, and how culturally strong he wanted you to be, and push you in front of the stage. You can always reflect on those moments in your life and think about that. So he was another really big influence in my life. And those are people that are really close to me, or have been really close to me in my life. There's always other elders in this community, that you grew up and you wanted to be, or always took you under their wing, whether it was here or Geelong. It's a big community. There's always someone that you looked up to, and now we're sort of in those roles that they were in when we were kids, and young people. And you think about the moments in your life where they, again, challenged you and pushed you to do those sorts of things. Like, oh shit, they were onto something, they were right.
They were right.
But and it's great to see them still here in our community, and be able to catch up with them as adults and talk about your family and introduce your children to them. As a this is my child. This is my next generation. He's an elder in my community that I respected and challenged me and pushed me to be who I am today.
And that allows our elders to sort of still feel connected, still feel a part of the community, and still feel heard too, I think. That's what's really good about that too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Just
exactly.
Having them around, introducing our kids, and it's pretty cool. We're lucky.
We are very, very lucky with some of the elders that we've still got. I know we've had a lot of sorry business over the last 18 months, 2 years plus, and we've lost some key people in our community of late, but I guess the connections that we were able to make with them, and the people we were able to meet because of their families and the stuff that they've been able to do, it's allowed us to be here to do what we're doing now, which is great.
We still sort of keep their spirit going, I suppose, because they've left that impact, and then we're sharing it, and we're still talking about them, still sharing their knowledge. So I think that sort of still keeps them a part of our community, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. What is Shrewsbury most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I'd have to say my children. They are, strong in their identity, in who they are, in their Aboriginal culture, but who they are as people as well. All my kids, and they're all very different.
Yeah.
But they have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. But, I guess that comes back to what we were just saying. Like, they reflect the behaviours from us that we get from our elders, and we pass on that through us. So I guess what they're getting, what they are and who they become, as much as they're their own people, they're a reflection of yourself, and who you want to be, and what they take away from the people in our community. You speak to Kaima, my daughter, 15 this year. It's crazy.
Mine just turned 18, and got her licence.
Yeah.
So.
Got a driver.
Got a driver. I'm still limited. She still gives me a curfew.
It's a scary thought, isn't it? My oldest is Tyler. My oldest is 18 this year as well. But they're all very different and unique kids, and they're passionate in their culture, and they know who they are. And I think for us as Aboriginal people too, it's important for us to have that connection with our Aboriginal community and their own friends, non-Aboriginal kids in the community as well. But to see how they all come together when they're here together, just all the little black kids running around.
And if you hear good things about your kids when you're not around, you know you've done a good job.
Yeah, that's right.
If they've got manners when you're not in the same room, you've done all right.
Yeah. And that's something that was instilled in us as kids.
Yeah.
Very respectful and kind, and it's good to see that they echo that sentiment as well. Look, I'm proudest of my kids because they are amazing kids, kind, respectful. Tyler's my oldest son. He's 18. He's had a job since he was 14. He has good values and buys his own clothes and buys his own. He saves for everything. Buys his own bike. He bought his own push bike, which is like $2,500. He saved up his money working in a fish and chip shop for that bike.
Yep.
It's something that's a good ethics and something to be instilled into someone that they want. And they want to work for things.
They want to work for it. They save. They miss out on things because they want something. Different.
I certainly didn't have that when I was 14. Too busy skating around on my skateboard in Geelong with my mates. They're all very unique. And as long as they're respectful to our people in our community and yourselves in this space, and I think to our younger kids as well, as those teenage age that they are, that they're peers to influential peers to our next generation as well, which I can see in your daughter, in Evie and Kaima. They're all very motherly. They've got that motherly
nurturing
to our young kids and nurturing.
And bossy. They're also very bossy.
Can be.
They are, but I think that's important
it's
too.
Good. It's important. They
need to have the confidence to pull up the younger kids. The younger kids need to see that these are young women and teenagers in our community that should be listened to and respected as well. So, and they don't just get given that; it's earned over time and learnt from others. So, look, my kids, everything that you work for, everything that you do, they're little us, aren't they? So, what you are, they become.
Yes, yes, they do.
No, and I second that. Sure, your kids are amazing. They call me Uncle Clarky, and that makes me feel pretty old now. But they're a joy to be around. I've been lucky enough to know them since babies, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Evie and Kyan become best friends, and I think
they were pretty welcoming when Zari started coming.
Yeah.
She's not very outspoken, but they were pretty welcoming when she came in. Just started talking and laughing and doing dumb stuff.
Yep.
And they were friends.
As they do. Yeah.
Then they were friends.
Yeah, she slotted in quite nicely in its
Yeah, which is nice. It's good to see, especially because she's a little bit older, coming into that space. She was like, oh, God, this is going to be weird and awkward and stuff. But it was pretty welcoming, pretty easy. And I just like, I don't know what they're doing, Zara. You just have to come and find out. She found out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're good kids. Yeah. They are good kids.
Yeah, great kids. And I said to Karen before, I think, you know, when you think about the next generation of leaders, I think, I said it to Karen before, I think Ballarat's in pretty safe hands. I think the generations come with some of the kids that we're pretty fortunate enough to see and hang out with and work with every week. So
certainly. And I think we put them on that right track as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's some kids that go a bit wayward and other on their own journeys and on their own path in life. And it's not always great, but if we can influence our kids to do the right thing and be leaders in our community, that is the next generation of kids are going to be running this organisation and working in the roles that we're in. So we want to put them in the best positions that they can be for ourselves as a community, but for them as well, to be respectful.
We need someone to look after us when we get old.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Only seems fair.
Yep.
We did it.
We did it. They're going to do it.
Yep. Everyone's got to have a turn.
Yep.
So for generations listening to this from years from now, Shu, is there any wisdom or advice that you would like to pass on to them?
Just take every opportunity you can. Don't ever be happy with a position that you're not happy with or you don't want to strive for something else. I guess, you know, if we look back at my career, you know, I started off in that little caravan at the Melbourne Zoo and always wanted to progress my career and be somewhere where I was happy. And I think where I am now has led me to those opportunities. And because I saw an opportunity arise, I jumped at it. It might not have been the safest option or the best option in, you know, particularly in that fire space as well. You know, it was a dangerous sort of role, and one that, you know, my wife didn't always agree with at times. Ultimately, it sort of ended my career because as adults and as a father, you had to look after the kids and make those decisions to leave that sort of role. But, you know, I progressed. I wasn't happy with just being in customer service. I wanted to share more about my culture, my story, and understand who I was and where I was from.
Yep.
So that led me to a different position and really challenged myself in those sorts of roles. You know, and you've got to be able to do that and have those conversations with your friends and your families. And, you know, sometimes it's a hard conversation that you want to make a change or you want to do something for yourself, and just have a go, try and do those opportunities and see where it takes you, because it can take you on an amazing journey. You know, firefighting was amazing. It took me all across the state to lots of different parts of the state that you'd never have access to. You know, being helicoptered into remote places in Victoria and in Gippsland in the mountains. Took me up to Cape York to learning how to introduce fire into the landscape by, you know, the Cooker Taipan people in Cookie Yallinger country and in near Weipa. Like, it was an amazing experience, and being able to bring that knowledge back. You know, there's always opportunities and experiences that come begging, and I think having that strength to be able to identify it and take that leap, even though how scary it might be, just give it a go. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. But you can say you tried. You did your best, and you challenged yourself to strive to be a bit more.
So don't settle for just comfort.
Yeah, comfort's easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
just have a go. There's nothing wrong with failing, and you know, you learn from your mistakes, and you soon find
learning from
something that you love.
Yeah.
You know, I said to Karen before, it took me, you know, 14 years to get into a space where I'm working with youth and with culture, and so it doesn't matter if it takes you a year or 14 years like it did me. It doesn't matter. It's all the little things you do along the way that help you get to where you are.
Yeah. Look, 17 when I started work and 37 now. Soon to be 38.
I'm older than you, Shu.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
He's older than me. He's got me by 5 days, actually.
5 days.
Jeez.
You just hold that, don't you?
No, I'm going to hold to that forever.
Yeah, look, it's you start off somewhere, and even though we're late 30s now, it takes time and takes effort. But I think if you take that leap and first step to challenge yourself and do it, then go for it. There's nothing holding you back.
No, exactly.
Good advice.
So what's next for Shu Brown?
Oh, I don't know what's next.
Whatever adventure comes.
Yeah, I guess. And I sort of left me or put me in a position where I am now too. That I'm 37 and still sort of challenge myself. I'm currently sitting on a board position at Central Highlands Water, and that was a progression for me. That was understanding how an organisation works at board level. To better myself for the future in my career and the organisation that I work for at BADAC. Understanding how it works from the top down. What is a board looking at? What is an organisation looking at or needing to be better from that level? Was a really important point for me to learn and understand. Have I thought about being the next CEO? Yes and no. Do I want to? Don't know yet.
What will be, will be.
What will be, will be. And I think that's just happened with my life. It progresses where it needs to at the right time. If opportunity presents itself, then potentially I'll go for that sort of area. And that's where I guess I'm looking at always trying to better myself and understand different skills and pick up things as I go along to put myself in the best position when those opportunities arise. Whether I take it or challenge myself, we'll see. So
Cool.
I guess that's the only way up from this point. I guess that is literally the next step. So we will see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a...
Mine would be invisible, just saying.
Yeah, there's so many different reasons, isn't there? Why would it be invisibility?
Because I don't really like to be out in the spotlight. This is a lot of work, Shu. This is stressful.
What if you got super speed? I used to be fast, then I got old. Moving off this couch, I'm probably going to pull a muscle.
I was thinking the same thing.
Invisibility is good. I do like to travel, so maybe the ability just to jump from one space to the other.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The movie Jumper. Just looks at a photo and just goes back from there, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just heading down to Vegas for the weekend.
I really enjoyed that weekend. I'm going to go back and do it again.
So I think that would be my skill, just to superpowers to be able, the ability to jump from here to there really quick.
It's a fair one.
Cool. That is a good one. That would be a handy one to have.
I do travel a lot, so
it'd be cheaper.
Yes, totally cheaper.
Yep. All right. Well, that's
awesome.
That's about it.
That's about it.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, Shu. It's been nice to sit down and have a yarn with you and find out a little bit more about who Shu Brown is and how you got to where you are now. And like I said, we're pretty lucky to have you on the podcast. But we're pretty lucky to be able to work alongside you and learn from you and then to be able to work with and support your kids moving forward. We're grateful for that. So thanks for coming, mate.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a great yarn, and as I said, I'm very grateful for both of you in this space, in our community, and I look forward to the other people that are coming to sit on these couches and have a yarn with. There's plenty of people in our community that have a lot to say and a diverse history and knowledge, and I look forward to tuning in to hear what they have to say as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Me too. Listening to Aaron and Nikki.
Next, yes.
Awesome. No, thanks, Shu.
Shu.
Thank you very much.
Brother.